So,
Yeah.
Kshitij, you're already here with us, and honestly, I've been waiting for this conversation for a long because your story hits so differently. You've been through battles that most of us can't even imagine, yet you're here and still lifting others up. I mean, come on, how do you even do that?
That's imbibed upon me, to be honest. I'm a very dependent person. My happiness thrives from making other people happy. Like, I believe in that.
Oh, great.
The journey that you are talking about, I think one of the ways how I was able to surpass it was also because people around me were there and I could talk, and it really mattered a lot when I saw that, our conversations made them happy and that made me happy. So my happiness is derived from other people, to be honest.
So, I think without any further ado, let's dive straight into it. And how are you feeling today? Where do you find that
Perfect.
energy, man? I mean, your energy, your aura is so contagious. I mean, awesome it is.
I'm glad you feel so, and that's very nice. How do I get this energy? I don't know. Like I feel I need to be more hyped up. I get a feeling when I know that I'm making a difference in some way or the other. That really motivates me and pushes me forward. To be honest, like when I'm having conversations, when I'm just silently doing a work. Let's say if I was in a desk job, I would suck at it. But I love what I do, and that's one of the reasons why I'm always hyped up and fired up to have an impact. That's all.
So you're using your USP to derive your path towards it. I mean, amazing. And people, we're
Absolutely.
talking about someone who's not just about, entrepreneurship. He lived it through every challenge, personally and professionally, which is amazing. And Kshitij, speaking of pushing through, it's one thing that you start a business, but it's another when you use your struggles to fuel other people or other entrepreneurs, especially the startups. I mean, it's amazing. Most people would have just focused on their business or their success, right? But you made it your mission to help others. So, what is it that made you think I have to got them lift up? I mean, what's that?
So, one thing is that I had to have my own successful venture for that, because I don't think that I can help other people without being successful at something that I'm doing myself.
Yes.
So, first, I thought that it's better to, practice what you preach. Before that, it's very hollow otherwise, I feel, to be honest. And I had my own fair shares of struggles in my business. My first business lost miserably, and it was so bad that I had to take a job, and I did that job for some time, collected a bit of money. But today, if we really talk about it, I know that the kind of struggles I went through, and I always say this, that and I'm not kidding. Whichever coach I spoke to, they said the same thing: don't work
Okay.
with startup. They don't have money. Don't work with startups. They don't have money.
Yeah, I've listened to it. I mean, I've heard it quite a times.
Multiple,
Yeah.
absolutely. There's inconsistent sales. There is no structure in place. There's money that they'll just keep driving it, and it's a common. It's not wrong what they're saying. That's absolutely 100% right. Working with startups is the most miserable thing that people can do. But at the same time, I realize if nobody is working with startups, which means that startups are facing a problem. And that is exactly where I identified it. I spoke to, I think, more than 15,000 entrepreneurs. And there are some patterns I noticed that, these are some challenges they're facing. And I realized that there are four major challenges that startups face. One, uh, they want a network. They want to build their network. They want
Oh,
to talk to
yeah.
other people. Entrepreneurship is the loneliest sport on this planet, I feel.
True.
When you're in it, you're just in
I
it.
think
And,
when
and
you
this is
start
the
it, then it happens, but otherwise, then you're the king.
No, and it's a bubble. It's a bubble. You somehow feel that, it's so cool. But once you start doing it, you then start realizing, oh my God, I'm not getting any support.
Yes.
And the best part is it's not like it's just in India. This actually is across the globe. Like, entrepreneurship is not really looked as something great. It's something like, okay, it involves a lot of risk, it involves a lot of money, and that's the perception, right? So I realized one thing, that because people are entrepreneurship being the loneliest sport, you need that energy, and that energy comes by talking to similar like-minded people. So four things I was working on. One was networking, which I realized is a big challenge. Second is customer acquisition. A startup faces a lot of problem how to get those initial set of customers. Third is brand building. Building a brand authority, creating trust is very difficult for a startup brand where nobody knows them. And fourth, of course, is funding. Like these are the four areas which I've realized that startups really struggle in. And it's a common problem. Some might not have one problem, but the other, whatever that can be. But in reality, this is a major problem. And that's what I intended to solve. And that's what I'm doing today.
Fabulous. And I really appreciate how open and genuine you have been with your story, and it's powerful. Amazing work you're doing. Also, the way you saw opportunity during the time of pandemic when everybody was just glued to their screens, were playing Ludo or just binge watching, the kind of vision you've seen, it's really rare. What was going through your mind during that time? How did you manage to stay that focused?
Every problem means opportunity. So I was seeing that a lot of people were playing a lot of Ludo, they were playing PUBG, they were playing whatnot. And I'm not gonna lie, even I played it a couple of times. After a point of time, I never realized how can people just be glued to their phone doing that. It's such an utter waste of time. Like this time is not going to come back. So and businesses just gave up. They just went like कुछ नहीं अभी तो कोई धंधा रखा ही नहीं है. And they just thought that it's done. I was like, okay, that is a weird thing. And people are spending 15 hours on their phone.
Of
I was
course.
like,
Mm. That was
opportunity.
huge.
Yeah. And that's when I realized, okay, this is the best time possible. At this point of time, let's try to teach them. There are a lot of people might want to upskill,
Yeah.
and I'm not even kidding. This is what's happened. And my courses are still online. And there's something I did. I did not have a table, chair, and everything. I'd moved back from Noida to Dehradun. So,
Mm.
and my place is a little crowded, to be honest. Three cats, two dogs,
Uh-oh.
and
Amazing.
parents and maids and everybody. Like so many people. So somehow I'm like, shh, just don't speak for some time. And I had a ring light. I did not even have a table. I was sitting on the bed. Had that, वो जो bed वाला table होता है, fold वाला,
Yeah.
students जो use करते हैं. I had that. And in that, I just randomly created a content structure, and around that, I made a course called Mastering Copywriting.
Oh,
And just letting you know, my I come from a Pahadi background. So पहाड़ियों में until and unless you're doing like UPSC, you become like IAS officer or government नौकरी, or
yeah.
you have to be doing a stable IT job in an MNC. मतलब उसकी तो वैल्यू है, बट बाकी सब में माई मदर केप्ट पेस्टरिंग दैट क्या कर रहे हो, ये क्या है, इसमें पैसा नहीं है, ये नहीं है, वो नहीं है. सो आई जस्ट लेट यू नो माई CTC in HCL.
Oh,
So the normal HCL CTC that went out when I finished my MBA was 4.75 lakhs. And in during COVID time, where I didn't have a team, nothing at all, I just made these courses, published it online, and started selling it.
one man
And
army,
started
huh?
completely one man. At that point of time, it was one man.
Amazing.
It was a bad situation. I was making that much money, not annually, but monthly.
Wow.
So that became a great view at that point of time. Honestly, COVID became a great opportunity. I wish I could have done so much more, to be honest. I feel like, I could have done so much more, but I was limited by my own beliefs. So that's the thing, like we just converted a problem into an opportunity at that point of time.
Yeah.
And kudos to the people who leverage that time to actually learn something. And many of them are doing really well in life. And, they keep tagging me on their posts, what they've achieved and this and that. I'm very happy for each one of them.
So it's incredible how you just stayed focused and turned your challenges into opportunities. I truly admired that. And
Thank
something
you.
that really strikes me again is how you literally, went into that recovery phase, gone through the treatment, but you still didn't stop. You were still planning. You were still, work in progress. You're building plans and you were like building something bigger, even while fighting your own battles. Like, it's a wow situation. What was that period like for you, mentally as well as emotionally, if we see? And how did you keep that drive alive, knowing the challenges you were facing were really personal?
So it was an incidental finding when I was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a kind of blood cancer. I was at stage 2. And the funny thing is that,
You okay now?
yeah, yeah, perfectly fine. You'll
Great.
just probably see this one line. This is a chemo port line.
Yeah.
But and there is the scar here, of course. They cut my neck here. But apart from that, like honestly, like there's no pain, nothing like that. I don't have any medications to do. I honestly feel like cancer is one thing which there's a hoax around it, that it's so deadly, so dangerous. It is dangerous. I'm not going to deny, and no insensitivity towards the ones who faced it.
Faced it.
I've faced it myself. So I'm just saying that cure to cancer is early diagnosis. So the problem I've noticed, and I'm not saying it outside, even in my family, I was noticing this, that they were very afraid. Ki, nahi, nahi, ho gaya, theek hai, you don't have to go to the doctor, it's fine. And I'm like, no, something feels wrong. Why do I keep getting sick every month? And I would be fine after that. Like I'll get sick for a little bit, 1 or 2 days, and they're like, no, it's a seasonal flu. I'm like, no, something feels wrong. And then I felt some lump here a little bit. And I was like, what is this? They're like, "Nah." And then it disappeared. That lump would disappear. Then it'll come back.
Oh,
So I just thought because I'm sleeping in a weird posture, maybe that's why the lump
yeah.
is coming, maybe something. I don't know. And everybody just went like, it's nothing. Just show it to the doctor. Doctor was also like, it's nothing. The entrepreneur in me, I have a problem. मेरे में कीड़ा है मैं
Curious
बोलता
kid.
हूँ. That, yeah, I've always been one of those people who ask a lot of questions.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I have to get to the bottom of it. What exactly is it? And then came one day when I was just walking and I realized I'm starting to see one thing as two. And I realized it while I was driving and I thought a car is about to hit me. And then I just did this and I realized, oh no, it's very far off because there were two versions of the car, right? So
Yeah,
this
yeah,
side I
yeah.
could see. So it was a very serious issue and I was like, something's wrong. So I went to the eye specialist. Eye specialist said everything is fine. There's nothing wrong with you. I like, okay, maybe it's a neuro related problem. I went to the neurologist. They did my MRI. They're like, it's everything's fine. So then I went through a very painful process, to be honest. It's called CSF. Now in CSF, they insert a needle inside your spinal cord and they take out the fluid from your brain through the spinal cord. And that process was painful. Like, like the funny thing was that uh, first thing is that when they insert it and when it touches your spinal cord, no, you shiver like anything. It's a very weird feeling. And the worst part was the doctor was not able to find it. So they would
Oh,
insert it once,
then
then
they
they'll
have
take it
to
out,
do it
then one
again.
more time, then take it
Yeah.
out, then one more time. So I had to go through that
Oh
page six
God.
times. Then the neurologist said, let's do one thing, let's do a CT scan. And in the CT scan, then they found that there are lumps here and here. There were cysts. They're like, there's a tiny possibility of cancer, but otherwise it could be TB, but it's curable. Don't worry, this, that, this, that. So I went to a biopsy. And the biopsy result came as Hodgkin's lymphoma, possibly. My parents didn't believe it. They were like, no, no, it's nonsense. Definitely not cancer. Max is trying to, loot money or something like that. It's all nonsense. That's not true. So then we showed to another doctor, and then the other doctor is an authority in cancer. Okay, I'm not going to name that person, but she's an authority in cancer in India. And she also said, looking at the report, no, I don't think it is cancer. Then I got in AIMS, what they did was an excision biopsy. Excision biopsy is when they actually cut open your neck and take out that thing. That was very painful. Not at that time, but once it's stitched and
It
everything,
was
then it
done.
starts
Yeah.
paining when the painkillers go away, right? I pain like hell, like very, very bad. Then the reports in the end came, it's true. PET CT also happened. Then also it came out that it's true. It is Hodgkin's lymphoma. It's at stage 2 because it's spreading. It has to be put under control. You have to get into chemotherapy really fast. And I really hate my parents for this because they stole my thunder. I was supposed to feel depressed, but
Yeah.
before I could feel bad, they were
They
so
were
upset that it felt like I had to console them.
into them.
So everybody starts thinking cancer equals death. My father, of course, he was like, no, no, we'll figure it out. We'll get the best treatment. He's all logical. My mother's all emotional. I was like, it's fine. Like, what can you do? Like, I can worry about something I have control over. This I don't have control over. The only people who can treat this are doctors. So I'm giving my body to them. It's up to them what they want to do now. Then what happened was that the first chemo happened, and I had all my goals, that I'm going to do this when I recover because it was
Yeah.
nothing. Probably my body is very
Work in
strong, and
progress was
nothing.
always there.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, once I recover, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going
You
to do this.
had
And I
that
started.
focus
Yeah.
towards recovering and doing it all.
Yeah. So it was not about if
Great.
I recover. It was once I recover.
Once I
That was
recover,
for
yes.
sure. Yeah. So I have to
The
do this,
grammar
this, this.
changes, and that
Yeah.
is how our body reacts upon, of course.
Yes. And I was like, okay, manifestation. If I think it will happen
It
eventually,
will
right?
happen, of
I
course.
like, let's do that. And I was like, look at me, my body is also perfectly fine. 2 days has gone, chemotherapy has not affected me. I'm pretty cool. My body, I think, can take up anything now. And after 2 days, it hits properly. And when it hit so bad. Even
Fine.
if you lift a finger, you start getting very tired.
Yeah,
And
it
then I
does
realized, oh
happen.
my God, I can't really, like, my brain isn't functioning properly. I'm feeling disgusted because I don't have the energy to even take bath. And I'm a person who takes bath twice a day. So for me, I mean, I was feeling disgusted with myself. I was so dependent, and everybody, like my parents, had to constantly come and console me and this and that. And I felt horrible. That was a very horrible feeling at how miserable I am to other people. You know, like why am I making everybody's life horrible? And slowly, this kind of thing kept happening, right? But what happens in chemo is that my cycles were in 15 days gap. So first 7, 8 days are bad. And the last 7, 8 days, you suddenly get all your energy back.
Oh, some
So
kind of
all my energy was
interesting.
back. And I was like, okay, I'm back. I'm ready. I can do anything. And by that time, another chemo, the other cycle happens.
Yeah.
And then again, you're
And
gone.
you're down for like a couple of days.
Yeah. So the last 7 days, I used to keep thinking what I have to do because I was pretty fit for those last 7 days. And the worst is that every time you get a different kind of a side effect. Like the side effect wasn't even common. It was just a new side effect now.
Yeah, of
So
course,
that
they're
was
playing with
pain.
your hormones. So,
The chemo will kill anything fast growing. Fast growing involves your hair, it's fast growing, saliva, your nails. Then you feel kind of bad that, oh my God, hair loss is also happening. You kind of feel like I'm looking ugly and everything.
self-image get disrupted at a higher pace.
Absolutely. I was still making plans what to do after this. And I was started thinking maybe God wanted me to get it because I was moving in a direction and I was doing something which wasn't quite working out. Like it couldn't scale. I was doing something and I wouldn't have left it because I'm a kind of person, if I made my mind, I will not leave it.
Oh,
So I was thinking maybe
redirected.
God, like, he is not going to move. So I'm going to give him this so that now he gets a reality check and he has to move his direction to something else. Right. And it changed my perspective. I was like, okay, everything happens for a reason. And I believe in this very strongly. Okay. Anybody who's going through something bad or harsh in life, no, I very strongly believe in this that think of yourself like you're a part of a movie and you're the protagonist. Imagine everything good is happening in your life. It's such a boring movie.
Yeah.
Why would people come and watch it? Why would it become an all-time blockbuster? I believe that bad things happen for a reason. These struggles form a character. All right. Because winnings only will give you ego. It's the failures which gives you, knowledge, strength, new perspectives. And in that zone only, I kept moving forward. I was pretty self-motivated that way. The only one thing I was very irritated by was everybody would come and lecture me about what I should have. Everybody was
What
doctor.
should you do? Of course.
Everybody are doctors.
Yeah.
So that was the one thing which would irritate me. But it's fine. Obviously, everybody's
Take
concerned.
care, of
Everybody loves,
course. Yeah.
they care and everybody's worried. So they did their part. And I got a lot of support from my parents, from my friends. Everybody really supported me. And
The
after
biggest
my chemo
support
went,
was you. I think without we getting strength and giving us that kind of motivation, if we lose hope, everything's collapsed.
very
So
true.
you are the biggest support, I must say, and you're amazing like that.
No,
And
no,
this is the
thank you.
fifth time I'm saying. So yeah.
Thank you very much. And that's what I did. And I was like, screw it. I might look ugly, it's okay. But I'm still gonna make videos and I'm going to educate. Whatever I'm doing, I'm gonna keep doing that. And I just changed my business model. What's the worst that can happen? It's okay. Ladkiyan nahi patengi. It's okay. So I like it's fine. I'm gonna anyway do what I'm doing. And I did it. The mission is bigger than myself. So I was doing that. And I think that eventually kicked
You can
up.
see that.
And
Yeah.
today it is doing really, really well. From December till today, I have closed more than 170 clients, which I had never done in such a long period of many, many years. Since December 2023 till right now, what is it? It's September 2024,
24.
170 clients. And
Amazing.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Huge.
So, yeah, so that is something I did. And I feel that somewhere there's some superior power who just wanted me to redirect. And that's why I got that.
I mean, your resilience through such tough times is honestly inspiring. I mean, everybody who's watching this would really appreciate and follow a path which you have created for them, of course. So, what I
Thank
really love about what you're doing now with Unhu Foundation, it's Unhu, right?
you.
Unhu Foundation's community is that it's affordable, but also deeply impactful. I mean, you're making it possible for early stage founders to connect and grow without breaking the bank. So it's amazing. How do you come up with
Thank
the idea of building something so accessible and especially when you have seen both the sides of the startup? I mean, the struggles and the success, of course. So, how do you come up with
I
this?
feel that's what helped me. But I'll be very honest. So I was trying to understand. who's helping startups, like, and especially I'm come from Dehradun, and Dehradun is known for lazy people, to be honest. It's a retirement place. Go there, enjoy for vacations and all these
Yeah.
things, but it's not, people don't take
Working.
entrepreneurs seriously from Dehradun. If you really think about it, I can't even think of a single billionaire from Dehradun or a public limited company from Uttarakhand. Like, it's not something that comes in your mind, right? And that's what I was thinking. I was like, okay, that is weird. Like, it's not like Bangalore or Mumbai or Delhi. The ecosystem is poor out here. And you can keep relying on government and this and that, or do something yourself. All right.
True.
Now,
Yeah, make your
so
own
at
path.
that point, the fundamentals were these four pillars:
Mm.
networking, customer acquisition, brand building, and funding. These are the four things every startup needs. And networking may, I have been in events. I don't want to name these brands. All they're doing is calling big chief guests. It's all eyewash. They call them, there is an interview, some panel discussion going
And
on, and we're
agree
just
with
waiting.
that.
When will
Yeah.
this get over? And when it gets over, we get up and we are exchanging some cards जो दो हाथ से
And
देने
then
होते हैं ऐसे करके.
going away. Yeah.
वो the entire thing is happening like that. And by the end of it, क्या हुआ? कुछ भी नहीं. Nothing happened.
Yeah. They're
So the
just building
rich
their
people
business idea.
network.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the rich people networked because it's a
Hmm.
big event. Sponsors came. So the rich ones, they did well, who are already doing well. But the ones who
Yeah.
are early stage, they didn't get any guidance,
True.
right? And this became a problem. That's where we came up with Unhu Founders Community, that is UFC, and named it specifically that because I wanted to just attract people with that name, UFC. Everybody knows UFC. So, like Unhu Founders Community, Dehradun chapter, the focus was very clearly that I want to involve 1,000 entrepreneurs purely from Dehradun, not even anywhere idhar udhar from Uttarakhand, but Dehradun.
Why? What have we done not to be the part of it?
It will go, but I want to work on the depth. This is something I did when I was talking to Vijay Shekhar Sharma,
Oh,
and the founder of Paytm. When I had a meeting with him one day, and I asked him, why don't you go global? At that point of time. And this meeting was in Bombay Stock Exchange. There was an event there, and I met him. I got a good 15-20 minutes with him, and it changed my perspective. He's like, India is so big, no matter what you do, you just cannot penetrate the 100% of the market. It's not possible.
true.
That's where I realized, okay, let's just focus on Dehradun and build a proper brand in Dehradun.
Oh, that was
Like,
like,
either you could have a small piece of a very big pie, or you could have a very big piece of a very small pie. And both, like, usually it's considered that you should have a small piece of a very big pie. But I went the other way and I said, it's fine. Let's focus on Dehradun. There is a problem here. People don't take entrepreneurs from Dehradun very seriously. Let's create an ecosystem. And we did our first UFC meet, which were 4 people. All right. And the community was like, I think 15, 20, 30 people, something like that from the WhatsApp group, and 4 people showed up. Today we have more than 350 people, and tomorrow there is an event, and that event already has 45 confirmations where people are coming and showing up, and they are loving it. That's something, I mean, they say it, I shouldn't say it by my own, but they are loving it, and they've gotten a lot of value from it. They've made new customers, they're getting new connects, they're getting new distribution channels. And now my goal is that I want to, apart from all these people coming together, goal is to have an investor pool, work closely with these startups, and help the investors where to drive funds in the right way, so that the right people can get the right support, right? So that's something eventually I would love if the government can get involved, and I could work with the government and help in the Niti Aayog funds that come along, and give it to the deserving ones, who actually deserve it. So I want to eventually keep doing it. I mean, another thing that is in work that we are doing right now is to create the largest event in Uttarakhand, like the largest event ever made, a 3-day event, which will
okay,
be a lot of different sections like fashion, F&B, hospitality, different segments will be there, and there'll be proper pitches happening in front of judges. And we want to drive investment in this state so that these startups can get the benefit of it,
okay,
and the startup ecosystem can be disrupted. And I've said this from the very beginning, I want a Silicon Valley here in Dehradun.
great. You've been
Yeah.
a rock for so many people, guiding them and supporting them when they just are starting out. It's amazing. I mean, we should have somebody backing us. It's really needed at that point of time when nobody wants to support you, and you're there as a building block for them. So I'm curious, who or what has been your rock? I mean, through everything you've faced, who and what have kept you grounded or gave you that strength of just moving forward, even when the things were really tough?
there's no straight answer to that, but I feel a lot of people impacted me in a very different way.
Yeah.
My mother gives me a lot of uh, love. My father gives me a lot of tough love, you know.
That is needed,
Uh,
of course, for
yeah, yeah,
every
both are
child.
needed. I believe that my upbringing has been touchwood very nice that way. It's very balanced in that manner.
Yeah.
I've got great set of friends who've been a very strong
Amazing.
support system.
True.
But at the same time, none of them are really helping me in the business front. I'll be very honest. None of that helped me anything to do with in the business. It just helped my character being formed, which is very important, by the way. Very, very
Important.
important,
Of course, the
right?
personality we develop while growing up.
Precisely. I would say that something that has kept me grounded would be my grandfather, who's no more, but I used to really look up to him, and he was this person who people just loved. You know, everybody knew him and everybody loved him, and I was like, I just want to be 1% of this man, and I was his favorite.
Wow.
We have a house in Roorkee, and that house's name is Kshitij. He named it under me, and he has a lot of kids, by the way. But I know that I was his favorite, and he was mine. So I always looked up to him since childhood. That I love his wisdom. I love how supportive he was, and he would go out of the way and even sacrifice his own things because he wanted to help other people. So
That
that
ground
is my
value is taken
Yeah, so that
forward.
really helped me. And on the mentor side of it, I mean, I took mentorship from a lot of people, small things here and there. There's Billy Jean from San Diego. I learned from him. I learned from Siddharth Rajshekhar, Rajiv Talreja in out here. So a lot of people, I took small guidances from each and made it something from that.
So, thank you so much for being so transparent. I've got to say, like, your energy is contagious again, and you've dropped so many gems here. I mean, I know people listening right now are going to feel the same fire that you're on, of course. And honestly, I'm walking away from this feeling, feeling more motivated. Thank you so much for keeping it real today. I mean, for sharing your highs and lows, and I mean, not everybody gets to open this much. So, thank you so much.
No, thank you, to be honest, because without storytellers like yourself, this message won't get a distribution channel. You are the ones who are actually making something like this happen, and applause to you in that way that you are doing such a fantastic job, and you're trying to bring out different stories and doing different kind of people and bringing value to other people's life.
Thank you so much. And to everybody who's listening and watching, of course, this isn't just another episode. This is the calling to action, of course, like he just mentioned. And if you're willing to, or if you're sitting back on something, an idea, or maybe a dream or a challenge, remember his story, of course, and then you'll get some boost and just some energy to move forward. And you don't have to have that all figured out right now, like he says, but you need to even just start it. Don't sit on it. So thanks again, Kshitij, for showing your resilience and your vision and your heart. It's amazing. It's something else.
Thank you so much. Thank you
And
so
to
much.
everybody out there, take this energy and just catch what comes for you next. And trust me, this conversation is going to stay for a while. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
so
you so much, Barkha. Thank you. Bye bye.